Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Swig Talk Spurs here, and today it's a bit of a different video for us today. As you may know, there's no Spurs action this weekend, thank God, says you. No more pain, no more hustle. For 3 weeks at least, we have to sit on the defeat that we did get against Forest there last weekend. But a bit of a different video. I'm actually going to speak about my country's upcoming World Cup qualifier with Ireland. We are against Czechia, so a bit different. So strap yourselves in. I hope you enjoy it. If any of you are from Ireland or are from Ireland from abroad, whether you've gone abroad or you're at home, anyone who's made their trip over to Prague for today for the game against tomorrow, if you're watching, hello. This is Swigs Talk Spurs. I am Swigs, and yeah, that's gonna get straight right into it. I hope you get. I hope you find the content uh, informative, even if you're not an Irish fan or an Irish supporter. Let me know from down below where in the comments where you're from. Where you're is your club or is your country competing in a World Cup qualifier, or are they already qualified? Because with us, we haven't. We've a big test on our hands now tomorrow against the Czech Republic. So, without further ado, I suppose we're going to get cracking straight right into it. Not going to be a long video today. It's going to go straight into it. And yeah, so if you like the video, hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button as well down below. That would be much appreciated. Thank you. So, if you see me darting off to the side, it's just that I've made some notes to the side here so I can keep myself on track and not go on one of my swig tangents. But yeah, Ireland are against the Czech Republic, or Czechia now as they're known, tomorrow night in Prague. Going to be a really tough game for both sets of teams. Ireland, I suppose, we're coming into it on the back end of a really good campaign so far. I suppose, in terms of where we're at currently with form. We beat Portugal at the Aviva, and we also beat in Hungary. Remember, if anyone remembered, we seen Troy Parrott, who had the game of his life in that game, absolutely carry Ireland to the qualifiers that we are playing now tomorrow. So yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see how we handle another World Cup qualifier, as this is only our third one that we've been in. We haven't done well in any of them. If I can cast your minds back, maybe to some new viewers or younger viewers, you might not have remembered it, or you definitely would have heard of it. But Ireland, we were last in a World Cup in 2002, so what's that, 24 years ago now at this rate. Um, our previous playoff campaign has not gone well, to say the least. 2009, we played France, and if we all remember that absolute scandalous decision of when Thierry Henry handballed, it ultimately costing Ireland a spot in the World Cup that year. And then obviously in more recent time, then 2017, where Ireland got absolutely battered out of the water. Christian Eriksen masterclass up in the Aviva when we lost 5-1 to Denmark. So that ultimately ruled us out of the 2018 World Cup. So we've had tough games in World Cup qualifiers, and but it's going to be, history wouldn't really be on our side in that sense. However, we come into this game now off a back end of savage results. Like I said, we beat Portugal, we beat Hungary to put us in this position. So it's unreal to think that we could, this is the time that Ireland actually go for a World Cup. But yeah, hopefully so. But yeah, Ireland, we've won our last three out of our last five games. I think Czechia, yeah, they've won two, they've drawn two, and they've only lost one. Um, in our previous meetings, I suppose. So that's, we've the Irish, we've played the Czech Republic 5 times, and Ireland has come out on top twice. We've drawn twice, and Czech Republic have won only once in our last five meetings. So if we were to go off history, you'd say Ireland are the favourites to go into it, but that never is usually the case in a qualifier. With that being said, there are some key players that are going to be needed for this game coming up. Now, injury concerns are huge. We have Josh Cullen, who's out with an ACL because he done it with Burnley, and also we have the likes, I think, of Liam Scales is unavailable to play tomorrow, as well as Evan Ferguson. He's out, also out. So that's a huge loss in both the defence and the attack and midfield, really. If all of those three players are fit, they'd probably all be starting, realistically. Um, but yeah, so they're going to be big enough losses, but key players to come in instead of them. We obviously to keep an eye on. We have the likes of obviously in goal, Queeveen Keller. Queeveen's had a savage year with Brentford. Hopefully he's going to have a really good game tomorrow. Troy Parrott is the main man up top. He can't do no wrong in a green jersey. So let's hope that he can kick on for that as well. And even in the middle of the park as well, I think, depending on how Ireland set up, it's going to be interesting to see whether we go with a two, whether we go with a three in midfield, whether we go with a Knight and Taylor in midfield. Does even the likes of Harvey Vale get a run out in the team? Tomorrow, you also have Jason Malumbi, who hasn't really put a foot wrong, in my opinion, in an Ireland shirt. Um, so you also Sammy Smodics, a player who can really make a difference, be it off the bench or even on in the starting 11. He's probably had his time at Ipswich has been probably up and down, but since he's been on loan at Derby, his performances have, from very briefly from what I've seen, have looked positive. So it'll be interesting to see how Ireland and some of their key players there, how they're going to perform against the key players of Czechia, in your sense of two names straight off the back. Thomas Soucek, who, as we know from with West Ham, is deadly in the air, deadly under any set piece ball. And when you have the likes of even Kufal whipping them in on the right, be a really big test for Ireland's defence to see how they handle that, as well as Schick up top, the Bayer Leverkusen centre forward, who's an aerial threat, combative in the air, and clinical. So it'd be really interesting to see how even the likes of he goes up against the likes of Nathan Collins, who I presume is going to be starting in the centre of the back three for Ireland. Next up, I suppose, how are we going to play? How is Ireland going to actually play? Um, I suppose we haven't really had a clear out and out 10 since the likes of Wes Hoolahan. So creativity, again, I think is going to be coming from the flanks. I think the likes of Ryan Manning would be Ryan Manning, Seamus Coleman, or whether we go with Ogbene instead out on the right wing. Finn as well, Finn Azar's, whether he's playing in as a second 10 or out on the left wing, as well as, like I said, Sammy Smodics. We do have creative players, but we just need to get them on the ball and get them firing balls into the box. Obviously, we lose the aerial threat that Evan Ferguson brings, but we have Parrott who maybe can get on a second ball and hopefully be clinical in that area. Then the same thing can be said, I suppose, with Czechia. They have a very physical, I suppose, CDM number 6 in Suchek, aerial threat up top with Schick. They probably think that they're going to probably maybe sit deep and play direct. And one key stat that I did look up beforehand, you'd be glad to know, in their last 5 games, Czechia have averaged about 4.8 corners. Compare that to Ireland, we've gotten 3. So they do like their set pieces, as I keep saying. Suchek and Schick are deadly from set pieces, as we've seen them from time and time again. So it'd be really interesting to see how they get on, in terms of how they approach set pieces and how we defend them. Because we have the likes of Queeveen, we have Nathan Collins as well, from Brentford. They're known for set pieces there, so it'd be interesting to see, maybe does that influence come in the game, or does that influence how we set up at all tactically? Who knows? Who knows? I suppose in terms of my lineup, I'm going to save that until I'm going to do that after this video. So look out for that with my shorts. But I'm just going to give a quick preview. I'm going to go with 3-4-2-1. Nothing more, nothing less on said on that as of now. And then probably just to wrap it up, my predictions. So it's going to be a really tough game for us. Czechia. It's their home turf. First leg, so it's going to be really. I imagine it's going to be a hostile enough environment. But there's one thing about us Irish fans is that wherever we go, we sing and we make it like it's our second home. And from what I've seen already, with people already over there and with flights, it's going to be absolutely, they're going to do their utmost to make sure we have a strong atmosphere there. And so that from that point of view, I think the fans are going to be the 12th man, and I think that we're going to go and we're going to get a draw. I think a 1-1 is a great result to bring back to the Aviva, where hopefully we can do the business then, and get through to our first World Cup in 24 years. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down below on the video. Let me know whose country you think might even win the World Cup. If Ireland get through, could they do it? Could they do it? Could they go one better? Or a couple better? Who knows? Who knows? Will remains to be seen. And yeah, I just want to say again, thanks a million for all the engagement in the last couple of videos and shorts. Absolute legends, the whole lot of you. And if you're new here, like I said at the start, I am Swiggs. I do football content on related to all things Spurs related, which isn't really an ideal time at this hour. And yeah, and some, if you can't understand with the dialect, I'm Irish. So hence the video about Ireland. And yeah, so if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, hit the red subscribe button down below, and let's hope the boys in green can bring home at least a draw against Czech Republic tomorrow. Anyways, talk to you in the next one, and we'll see you then.